So Alice will say, suddenly I'm very interested in these commie fuck puppets. So why don't we do that?
It's the first sensible thing you've said all day.
Hello, everyone. It is, in fact, time to play the music. Time to chant the hymn. Time to wake the Muppets from a never-dying dream. Hi, everyone. How are you all doing on this wonderful, wonderful day? Oh, yes.
Doing good. How are you?
Yes, Darcy. I went for demented Jim Henson. It's going to get more demented as the series goes. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the first episode of 4 episodes of our Delta Green campaign. It was supposed to be 5, but I am a hack and a fraud, and I wasn't able to pull together this first game after a 13-hour streamathon. Who would have guessed?
So hard on yourself, Tav.
I am always hard on myself. So let's meet our wonderful, wonderful players who are going left to right? ? Yes, left to right. Never Squid. Nev.
Hi, everybody. I'm Never Squid, Nev. I am an artist and ttrpg enthusiast. I am playing Cassidy Smith, infantry riflewoman in the U.S. Army, who is kind of way more of a badass than I will ever be in my entire life.
I'm now checking receipts because I think I may have fucked up the overlay. So I'm double checking whether you have ever said that you were playing Jessica Smith.
No, it's
Yes,
Cassidy.
you did. Yes, you did. I've got the receipts.
Okay, well, it's Cassidy.
I'll fix it.
You could have seen had you looked at Foundry.
I looked at Discord. That was my one source of truth. And I have the receipts.
I must have
yes.
messed up the name or changed it, but it's Cassidy. It's fine.
Next up, Alex.
Hey there, I'm Alex Rodriguez, just general tabletop ne'er-do-well. I'm from a show called 2 Weeks, One Shot, and I am playing Gerardo Jerry Dallas, but just commonly goes by Jerry most of the time.
Next
The
up, we
scientist
have...
with Usam Rid.
Next up, we have Amber.
Hi everybody, I'm Amber, also known as The Space Jamber on Twitter and Twitch. I'm a TTRPG writer, editor, podcaster, streamer, all of the above with talents so varied. You can call me the TTRPG Swiss Army knife. I am playing Heather Watson here today, and she has some shit up her sleeve, but not literally, just metaphorically.
To be fair, she works for the laboratory division of the FBI, so might also be literally.
She wears gloves and she makes sure that she has hazmat suits on when handling that material, Tav.
Okay, I believe you. And you have a Twitch channel, so I'm shouting that one out too.
Yeah,
I have no idea.
this...
I have no idea how this works.
No, it's all good. After this show, at 5 Eastern, I'm gonna do my my Nuzlocke challenge to continue what we started last weekend.
I'm tuning in for that.
Yeah.
Okay, and then last but certainly not least, we've got VJ Stoneheart.
Hi. Hi, I'm BJ Stonecraft, and today I'll be playing Agent Alice Adler. Her past is a little bit murky. If I told you more about it, I'd have to kill ya.
Her future might also be murky. Her present, surprisingly, also murky. So, welcome to tonight's episode of Easy Being Delta Green. You all are, in various ways, have made your acquaintance with Delta Green. So, going right to left this time because I like mixing things up. I'm going to have to ask all of you to quickly introduce your character, and most importantly, tell me, when did they get in touch with Delta Green, and why, and how? So, Alice Adler. How did Alice Adler get drafted into Delta Green?
Well, you see, I have a very storied background working for organizations here and there and here, and I have a very particular set of skills that Delta Green finds very useful. So, just the occasional psyops, that sort of thing. And, well, my last project, maybe you've heard of it, MK Ultra, it went fabulously. So Delta Green has just got my number and called me up.
Okay. Next up, Amber. How did Heather get in touch with Delta Green?
Heather's always been maybe like a pencil pusher in the in the government and governmental agencies, but since joining, she's always had like this fascination with like the darker side of investigations and the darker side of like the world in which she's inhabited. And over the past few years, she's, how do I best put this? She has, through her forensic research, found a little more than she was anticipating, got a little bit over her head, and was tapped to do some Delta Green projects as a result. Maybe to keep her quiet, but also to keep an eye on some things internally.
Very cool. And next up, we have Alex. How did Geraldo get drafted into Delta Green?
Gerardo, or just Jerry, please. Jerry, was involved with the military going into World War II. You might notice he's a little bit more of a geriatric of the group, being 72. He's been involved with Delta Green for quite a while. He studied originally at Berkeley, where he mainly studied virology. So after World War II and continuing advancements in chemical warfare over the next, let's face it, 50 years in warfare, Jerry's been in and out, consulting in various agencies, various branches of the military. But right now he's with USAMRIID, which is a long acronym for U.S. Army Medical Research Institute of Infectious Disease, aka the Institute.
That doesn't sound ominous at all.
No, not at all. Not at all. But he is always wearing rubber gloves because you never know where his activities have been.
Moving on, specialist Cassidy Smith, and I'm going to be fucking this up for this stream.
I know, it's my fault, stupid brain. It really is supposed to be Cassidy. I don't know why I said Jessica. Yeah, Cassidy is the newest recruit for Delta Green out of this group. This is her first official call to action, I suppose. The last time was entirely by accident. She is training to become part of the Explosive Ordnance Disposal Unit. And because, chemicals were involved, Jerry was also there. And they ran into something they definitely probably shouldn't have. And her very orderly, soldierly world kind of got upended. But like any good soldier, she knows when to keep her mouth shut. And apparently Jerry was impressed. So he threw her a line, basically, and recommended her for the Delta Green program. So now she's here. Still way out of her depth, but just wanting to help.
Okay. Withel, the four of you are all have all received messages to make your way to the to Washington, and the DC variety, not the state variety, to meet with a handler for your Delta Green operations. Now, we'll breeze over how you get there. Some of you going by the less than safe planes in the 70s. Some of you going by train. One of you, at least, probably already is in Washington. Unless she has to be recalled. Where you will be meeting with, and I had the thing here. Where you will be meeting with Mr., not Agent. Stenmark. And I am completely blanking on the office he was a part of, but it's essentially the U.S. office for decency and communications, like the censors. And I'm not sure. I thought there was a censor. It's literally called the U.S. Censorship Board.
Mm.
How original.
So you are all invited to join there, where the U.S. Censorship Board is in a smaller office near the actually quite far away from the Capitol. Pretty rundown, not that well funded, but all of you do make your way there. You are to meet there after lunch, so 1 p.m. Who is the first of you to arrive?
Sure, I don't. I think Jerry gets there early. He stopped, found a nice deli, had himself a good, real good BLT. Good DC BLT, and has made his way into the theater. He walks in. He's already got on his lab coat. He's got a pair of goggles that he just keeps on his forehead. Definitely not doing all that great to try to blend in with walking in and not raise any suspicion for his reason to be there.
Yeah. So as you enter the office, it's very clearly it's essentially the government's extension of the MPAA. You see multiple posters of films hanging around there, and there's just a simple desk with I think this is the 70s, probably a woman, a secretary sitting behind it, who looks at you as you come in and you are Mr. Stenmark's 1 o'clock?
I believe so. If you got Jerry Dallas on there, then that'd be me.
Yes, we do. Please have a seat. He's just he'll be seeing you in a moment.
And
Then
he coughs into his left hand into a handkerchief, and then extends his right, and he says, "Jerry Dallas, nice to meet you. Your name is."
Stephanie, right? I'm just the secretary.
All right,
and she extends
Stephanie,
her hand, shakes it, and
doesn't hurt to always say hi to the folks in the office. I appreciate you receiving me here, but whenever Mr. I'm sorry, how do you pronounce his name again?
Stenmark.
Stenmark. Whenever Mr. Stenmark's available, I'll be right over here. Stephanie, you got a bottle of water I could maybe get from you?
Yes, of course. And she walks off to what's small office, so probably like the employees' lounge. And as let's say Heather comes walking in, she's just coming back with a glass bottle of water, just a glass next to it, and just gives that to you, and then
thank you so
hello.
much.
Hi, good morning, Stephanie. I am here. Jerry.
Huh?
No, wait. Yes, Jerry?
Yeah. Are you with you're here with the 1 o'clock?
Yeah, sorry. It's just your reputation precedes you.
Well, we must be getting lax with our paperwork if I have a reputation. Stephanie, could we get her a bottle of water as well? I think that'd be greatly appreciated.
No, it's just I mean,
Yes, of
everyone
course. And
knows
she
Uncle
turns
Jerry.
around and walks towards the door. At which point,
I will
Cassidy
point
comes
out
walking.
that Cassidy will have gotten there early, but she will have scouted things out. Because, paranoia pays off when your entire
Yeah.
world just got upended. So she's gonna
Very
make
fair.
sure there's nothing hiding in the alleys, nothing suspicious around any exits and entrances out, And then
Yeah,
she's
you can
going to walk
absolutely
in
do that.
on the dot. Exactly.
Yeah, just in case, go ahead and give me an alertness check. First roll of the campaign.
Yeah. Oh, no pressure.
None.
I succeed extremely well, I think.
Nice.
Turns out she's paranoid.
Yeah, so
Who'd have thought?
First roll, and it's a fucking 2. As you paranoia does in fact pay off as you start looking around the back alleys, and you start trying to figure out is everything around here safe? It's probably nothing. But as you come out of one of the alleys and you see a man in a lab coat walk into the office where you're about to meet, you see a gray car, an old Chevrolet. And you see a person looking out of the window of that car. First at the he first seemed to be looking at the door of the office, then looks at you, and the car drives off.
I'm gonna note the license plate and whatever description of the person I can vaguely see through the car window.
from that distance, with your roll being as good as it was, the person you are seeing is definitely male, probably mid to late 40s, lightly graying hair, white complexion, wearing a suit.
Okay.
And the car is a fairly nondescript car. In fact,
And I will also note down the license plate, but you don't have to tell me a random license plate. I will just have it.
Yeah.
but yes, as you see that, it's 1 o'clock exactly. So you walk into the door.
Cassidy is not exactly subtle either. She's 6'5", built like a brick stack house. She's trying to wear casual clothing, but her bearing is very military, ramrod straight, hair cropped short, serious look on her face. She kind of can't help it, being a soldier. She does have a big sort of backpack on, and she comes in and immediately salutes Jerry and Heather. She doesn't know who Heather is.
Heather's gonna take one of the pins that she keeps in the bun in her hair and make a note of you specifically, Cassidy, in a little handheld notepad she has, and just okay, you're new.
Well,
I haven't heard of
Cassidy?
you before.
Cassidy, I'm
Sure.
glad you could make
Ma'am?
it. Now the party can start. Come on, at ease, calm down. No action just yet.
You say that, but there was a car staking out the building.
Well, Cassidy, there's cars all over. We're in a city. No, all right, fine. I'm not gonna fight with you. You've been right about this sort of thing before.
And she'll
don't-
she'll hold out her hand to Heather.
That's
Cassidy
right, that's
Smith,
right.
U.S. Army. And you are?
Yeah. Heather's put off a little bit. Her hand is definitely a little bit softer, I assume, in grip, and also just kind of in general than Cassidy's hand. Yes, Heather Watson. It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance. Is everything okay? You said someone's been staking out the building?
I think someone was watching Jerry come in the building.
Oh. Okay, I mean, that's Jerry. Who wouldn't want to watch Jerry?
Popular as always.
I noted the license plate if you wish to investigate, ma'am. Not my area of expertise.
Oh, we'll let you hold on to that one for now, Cassidy. But keep an eye out. I always appreciate it. And Heather, you're joining us from where exactly?
From the forensics. The forensics department of the FBI.
Got it. That's right. Sorry, the old ticker ain't what it used to be.
No, you're fine. You're
All the
absolutely
missions
fine.
start to blend in a little bit,
Yes, with someone with such an illustrious career as yours, it's only natural. But Cassidy, what you said you're from the army? What do you do?
Infantry, ma'am. I'm learning to training for explosive ordnance removal. That's how I met Jerry, ma'am.
Fascinating. I would love to know what kind of explosives are going to be involved in this case, but we'll see.
I'm also just generally good in a fight, ma'am.
Beautiful.
Yeah, if you want to get stuck in a foxhole with somebody, Cassidy's definitely the one to get you out of there.
A moment later, the door opens again, and Amber, you see a face that you don't particularly enjoy seeing as Agent Alice Adler comes walking in.
It's the face crack of the century. The pleasantries that we're on are great. But I knew Alice was gonna be here.
Can we say that I arrived as late as I possibly could and still be on time and still make it to this meeting?
Ooh, that 15-minute mark. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
like just really down to the wire.
The best part is, as you might have noticed, Mr. Stenmark still not here.
Well, I guess I'm not the latest then. And Agent Alice Adler strides into the room. She's wearing this black dress and this violently green overdress and just improbably high stilettos as well. Bright pink glasses on her face and a cigarette in her hand. And she strolls into the room and immediately beelines for Jerry and sticks out her hand. Jerry, it's lovely to see you. It's been a while, old friend.
Oh, Alice, I didn't know they'd be bringing you in for this one.
Wouldn't miss it for the world. And Watson.
It is a pleasure to see you again, Adler. How are things going in the lab?
Oh, didn't you hear? They've moved me to Directorate of Operations now, so
Good for you.
I'm in the field again.
Fabulous. I'm sure a little bit of sunlight will definitely help out with a lot of things.
What is done in the dark will be brought to the light.
Oh, for sure. We definitely know that, don't we?
And Jerry, who is this? I don't think we've met.
Please, this is Cassidy. Cassidy, please introduce yourself.
Cassidy will salute again. Ma'am, Cassidy Smith, U.S. Army.
It's a pleasure to meet you too. No saluting here. It's just Alice, if you will. Unless you're Watson. Watson can just keep calling me Adler.
Well, the gang's all
Cassidy-
here.
Cassidy does that thing where she looks between Heather and Alice and is like, okay. Decides not to say anything.
Yeah, Jerry's oblivious. Doesn't pick up on any of it.
Jerry's just
And
vibing.
even if Jerry were to pick up on it, would he care?
Nah, I don't think so.
So, minutes pass. A few more minutes pass. It's now 15 past. When the door to the office opens and a very haggard-looking, portly older man comes walking in, balding, whatever hair is still left on his head, clearly prematurely turned gray, wearing clearly older glasses, like they're all scratched up from use. Well, the rims at the very least are all scratched up from use. A ill-fitting suit that highlights his portliness. He walks in. I'm so sorry. He wipes some crumb off his suit. You must be the operators. Do follow me. And as he makes his way to an office door that has a little placard on it that's slightly askew that says, Mr. Stenmark, Assistant Director. And opens door, cramped office, smelling slightly musty. Curtains closed. So he fiddles with the light switch. It buzzes for a second before it truly comes on. And you walk into an office that is clearly not has clearly not seen a cleaner for a while. So he sits down. Please sit. And there are 4 rickety-ish chairs.
I don't think Jerry sits. Jerry kind of meanders around the office and he's picking at things that he's got, and he's kind of looking at whatever he's got on tables and chairs, and right, if he's got like
Dust mostly.
Yeah, he's definitely like marking it off, working it between his fingers as he just kind of tries to get a sense of Stanmark. from what he has in his office.
Okay. You know what? Seeing as we're rolling dice anyway, sounds like
Search?
I was going to say alertness or psychotherapy.
I guess alertness.
Or you know what? Go with forensic.
Or human.
Oh, if I could do forensic, I'd love forensic.
Actually, no. Human sounds the best. Human sounds the best for this one. Which
I can't do forensics. Can I argue for forensics? I'm trying to get a sense of what this guy is.
You know
what he's got
You know
going
what?
on.
I'll give it to you on forensics. I was going to let you keep the 21-year-old, but
Well, either way, it's
a
still
75
successful.
is 57 is a success. Barely. So you start looking through everything on the that Mr. Stenmark has in his office. This is the office of someone who has peaked in his career and who's been probably moved to this office to be less trouble. He doesn't seem to be too ambitious or anything. From what you can tell, there's no major awards beyond a couple of things from the 50s, which are awards for excellence in censoring. So clearly a tired older man who doesn't really have that much going for him.
Well, Stenmark, glad you could fit us into your busy schedule. So as you see, you've really galvanized quite a diverse group of officials here. Why don't you start to line things out for us? What exactly are we doing here at the censorship board, Stenmark?
Right. Well, are you familiar with present-day popular culture? Anything? How much do I need to explain here? Do you watch TV?
No, sir.
Yeah, Jerry looks over at the others. Yeah.
Who has time for that?
Right. Well, in that case, I'll go with the large explanation. So, a television is,
No.
Mr. Steinmark,
Oh, go ahead.
we understand what a television is. Why don't you just skip ahead kindly, spare us the detail until we get to what exactly we're doing here?
Right. Completely understandable. Yes, that's probably for the best. So, this office has a responsibility of working with the various different entertainment agencies of its various different entertainment providers for the United States. I, in my role as assistant director, work with the MPAA, primarily the Movie Picture Association. And, well, we have a finger on the pulse for things that might be coming out soon that isn't fit for consumption, if we still say so. This came across our desk at the MPIA, a pilot for a new show directed by a Jim Henson. Apparently a puppet show of sorts, which normally wouldn't trigger any warning signs, but it was a bit raunchy, so our office had to take a look. And, well, after we had ourselves a look over the scripts, we started seeing some notes of disappearances around the set. So obviously we informed local law enforcement, but when we tried to inform them, rank was pulled, and apparently an agency called Delta Green took over the case. I'm just supposed to give you all of the full information that we have on them, and I think I think I should probably know nothing more than that.
Yep, smart move, Stenmark, smart move. Well then, what do you got for us? Where are these files? What are the...
Yeah,
What
he
are the
starts
details that we're looking for
rummaging
here?
through cupboards, pulls out like a relatively thick file, like a few centimeters thick, and puts it on the table. It lands with a soft thunk, and some dust goes up. And he goes, "Yes, this is all the office has on it. No copies will be kept, of course, as is apparently procedure. They're currently preparing for showing in 2 weeks from now at a theater in New York. All off Broadway. It should be recorded and broadcast to the entirety of the United States. And yeah, that's what we have right now. This should contain all the relevant persons who are working with the Muppet Show. And
Sorry, you said Muppet?
Yes, it's the Muppet Show. I honestly, I don't know what these kids come up with every year again, making my life incredibly difficult when they just invent words. But go ahead.
Oh no! Sorry, I was just vocalizing.
Yeah. But yes.
Well, I'm sure there's nothing on Mr. Rogers, sir.
Mr. Rogers is a goddamn patriot. He's all right in my book.
Yes, we never have to censor anything he does. You'll see when you read through the script. It's provided in this folder. That we had to make a number of suggestions. And he hands it over and if you have any questions, I can try to answer them, but and he looks, no one needs to roll for this. He looks like he'd be very happy if all of you would be out of his office and he could get back to his life of mundane mediocrity.
Fine. Yes, so you would want us to investigate more about this Muppet Show, right? And see if there's any weird dealings, if this Henson guy is more than just some guy with an affinity for puppets. Is that what I'm to understand? The censors have called us in for a puppet show?
Well, we didn't call you in, per se. It's just that when we made police reports, when we made a police report, when we started hearing of disappearances, we passed along the script and all the other information we had, just part of their investigation. And, well, we got a message that agents would be showing up to take possession of the material and ask any further pertinent questions. And here you are. So please do take possession. And he points to the folders.
So Sandmark, these sensors that you made before, what were the nature of them? What is these? Just are they making communist puppets? What's the deal?
No communist puppets per se, but well, the show was to be called the Muppet Show: Sex, Drugs, and Rock and Roll.
You should have led with that.
My God.
You can see how we had to strike a few things to suggest it. Make it more friendly for the children who will clearly be watching this. It's a puppet show. When would adults ever watch a puppet show?
Yeah, television does dictate all behavior that kids do, so you're doing good work. It's good. Good catch.
Thank you, Dr. Dallas.
Please, it's just Jerry.
Of course, Dr. Dallas.
Sex, drugs, and rock and roll, you say? Well, Jerry, take a look at this script. Does this seem like it's written by a mind that is sane, a mind that is sober? Given your expertise, what do you think they were on when they were writing this? LSD, PCP, D&D? What's going on here?
Yeah, flips through the script, looking at
Parliamentary inquiry, was D&D a thing? It was. I'm just being a dick.
Sorry,
Yeah, he's looking through it, and he's just like, Kermit T. Gonzo Fozzie Bill. What is this? Madness.
That is exactly what I said when I read through this. This is clearly this was clearly written by a deviant and a madman.
Alice, surely your area's at least kept tabs on. He snaps his fingers over at Stanmark. What was this clown's name?
Henson. Mr. Jim Henson. Yes, he's a minor performer and it hasn't run past our desks yet, but he's working with ABC to publish this, which means that they have a fair they have a fair separation from us. They could obviously go through with broadcasting this without our suggested changes, but that would be inadvisable for the health of the minds of America.
Of course. We cannot risk that.
Yes, just doing my duty.
Looking through this script, I do see two characters I do like. This Statler and Waldorf. Sounds like they tell it how it is. That's good. All right, there's some hope for this show yet.
Yes, but children should learn that it isn't right to criticize too much.
That's right.
That is not American.
They start to question the puppets. Pretty soon they'll question our president, who is a white man. They all blend together.
Nixon? Question mark?
Oh, such a good man.
Correction.
Heather's going to make a note of that. It says Nixon is a good man.
Actually, it's Ford right now.
Yeah.
Nixon was falsely accused. Watergate was not his fault.
Nixon was innocent, man, I'm telling you.
Watergate was just a commie psyop.
Through all of this, Cassidy is not saying much. This is not her area. She is reading it and sort of raising an eyebrow every now and then. But she doesn't seem to be quite as outraged as everyone else has been so far. She's got that typical military stoic sort of bearing.
Cassidy, could you do me a favor and roll me another quick alertness? Good to know.
Terrible.
Cassidy, you've
Inside
got
of
your
you, there are
fingers
two
on
wolves.
you've got your fingers on the pulse of the youth. What do you make of this, Muppets?
Oh, I'm not the youngest anymore, sir, but it looks like a very strange show, and this Henson fella looks like a hippie.
That's right. Good,
Which,
good assessment.
being
good
military,
assessment.
for her is just like said with that
Worst insult
disdain
ever.
of like that disdain of like a hippie.
Like I said, worst insult ever. But yeah. So as you all talk with this fellow, it seems he doesn't particularly have that much more to add, that much more of interest to you. You get a decent biography of Jim Henson out of him. As far as the script goes, you're going through it, and anyone who wants to can make me an occult check, just to see if you detect anything untoward in there. And I'm checking, and I think no one has taken occult.
I did.
Actually, no, Jerry
And
has
I'm
taken
gonna
occult.
But I failed.
I'm gonna not even roll because Cassidy has not had enough experience to even try at this point.
Actually, Tav, can I make an argument for forensics to see
Go
if
ahead and
there's
make the
anything
argument.
like within? Yeah. So the argument is like, you're trying to see if there's anything weird in there, given that like I've kind of focused more in like the weird side of forensics as my cover. Like, can I roll that? Like, what is there any like weird remnants in there that like, or like potential like dog whistles or the sort?
You know what? I'll let you use human for this.
Okay, sick. Well, shit.
So,
I'm just so distracted by my mortal enemy being here.
as all of you read through this script, so here's the weird thing. Nothing in the script itself seems occult in nature, as far as you can tell. There's red lines throughout it, but all of them are targeted at the show being raunchy and kind of anti-American. But not necessarily. There isn't like a line of Ia Cthulhu Vertagen in there or something like that. It's literally just a puppet show that is slightly more raunchy. South Park will do it later. So the only thing that you can tell from this is that literally the only reason that Delta Green was involved is the fact that there have been 3 disappearances, and that the disappearances seem of the weirder variety.
Does it have files on the disappearances as well?
There, on this end, there are police reports. So the thing you get when you make a police report. There is a Mark Watson, who I just realized shares a name with someone here, but no familial connection. A Lucy Whittaker, and a Harriet Smith. Once again, no familial connection. That is a producer. Mark Watson is a producer. Lucy Whittaker was a script writer. And Harriet Smith was a makeup artist for the production.
Sorry, what was the third?
Makeup.
What
Those
was
are
your
the
name?
Harriet
Smith. Those three disappeared in relatively rapid succession. The particulars to their disappearances were one of them, Mark Watson, disappeared after a test staging thing for the show. And he was the first disappearance a week ago. He disappeared from the theater. No one claiming to have seen him. No one has seen him leave. His car was still there, and he just disappeared between one of his production meetings and the end of the day. Lucy Whittaker was disappeared a few 2 days after that, and was last seen leaving the studio, but never arrived home. And then finally, Harriet Smith was disappeared 2 days before you were called in. And that one seems to have been the disappearance that caused you to be called in, as they disappeared from their locked house. And the thing police found when they entered the house were one, the door was locked. There were no signs of forced entry anywhere. All windows were closed and unshuttered. But there were these long claw marks in the wooden flooring of the apartment. This is the one that triggered Delta Green.
Okay.
Okay. Do we? So how detailed are these reports insofar as like
Undetailed
photos of like the home and things like that?
These are the kinds of reports that this is actually the whole scratch marks thing that's just mentioned in passing. Something that there's probably more in-depth police reports, but the censorship board would not get access to those. So you'd have to go to the police, to the New York City Police Department to actually get that evidence. But yes, that's about all the information you can get out of him, unless you have any questions.
Nothing on my end. I think I've got everything I can get out of him, at least. Anyone else?
Nope. I think whatever this is above his pay grade.
Agreed.
Are you saying this out loud in front of me?
Yeah.
100%.
He comes. Right here.
You need a handkerchief?
Yes.
Here you go.
I think it's astoundingly clear he wants us out of his office.
All right.
Please go ahead.
I don't even.
Take these. I'm supposed to make you sign for them. Right here, and he pulls out like a document for you to sign that you've taken custody of the evidence.
Stanmark, your original assumption that you probably shouldn't know more. With that assumption, what makes you think that we leave a signature?
Oh,
I like your thoughts.
Alice.
We'll be taking these. Sorry. Go ahead.
As you're saying this, Alice will take a pen off of the desk and will sign on the line, but it says, "I do what I want."
He
As,
looks at that and
As Alice has made very abundantly clear, we'll be taking these, Stanmark. I would recommend you don't leave town, at least for the next couple of weeks. And if any more information's needed out of you, well, we'll find you. I wouldn't worry about that.
Okay.
Yes. Don't call us, we'll call you.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, yes. Thank you for handling this promptly. Have a wonderful day. As he looks, on the one hand, really insulted, and on the other hand, incredibly relieved that you were all leaving him to his mediocrity.
Does he maybe have some sort of like paperweight of some kind, some sort of ornamental paperweight on his desk?
Probably.
Okay, yeah. Jerry looks at it. I'm taking this. I'm going to take this.
Okay, I guess.
All right, Stanmark. Like I said, or like Watson said, we'll call you.
Okay. I look forward to it, said in a tone that clearly means I fucking hope you don't.
As you all file out, Cassidy will hang behind just a little bit and sort of apologetically go, I think they're just being creepy for effect. I wouldn't worry about it too much. Good day, sir.
Thank you. Okay, so as this occurs, you make your way to the lobby where Stephanie just nods at you as you leave the building for the much better, much fresher air of smog-filled Washington. As you make your way out, you're just in time to catch the same silver Chevrolet that Jessica mentioned to you, Cassidy mentioned to you. You see that rolling out and turn the corner just as you make your way out of the office. What do you do?
Jerry's produced, seemingly out of nowhere, just a bag of almonds that he's crunching on. He hasn't even noticed this car, and you see promptly looks around for a trash can and immediately throws away the paperweight that he took from Stanmark. See, Cassidy, when you're part of Delta Green, you always gotta keep them guessing. The old take the paperweight at the last second trick. Always gets them. Good almonds.
If you say so, sir. Also, that was the same car that was here when we came in.
Oh, car?
It's almost like it's following us. Strange. Can I approach the car?
The car just turned the corner and drove away when you guys came out of the office. So
Strange.
it
you didn't
depends.
even-
What is your running speed?
I am in heels.
Okay, so that's a negative modifier. Gotcha.
No, I won't chase the car. I won't chase the car. I think about it, but I don't chase the car. Well, that's curious. They didn't stick around to say hello.
Generally, when someone's following you, they don't, ma'am.
That didn't look like any of yours. And he points over at Heather and Alice.
I've never seen that car before in my life, but I mean, with the new cars they're coming out with these days.
Yeah, you Samrid's not generally in the surveillance business. More about the coughing and then washing your hands business.
Alice and Heather, without even rolling for this, because this is just knowledge from your agencies, that car is not a very recent model car, but it's exactly the kind of car you'd be using if you wanted to blend in traffic in Washington D.C. Like it's nondescript. It's so nondescript that it suddenly becomes very, very interesting.
Well, I certainly won't be hiring whoever is behind the wheel of that. It's sticking out rather like a sore thumb in this part of town. Who do you think it is that's keeping an eye on us? Anybody got any guesses? It's not one of mine, that's for sure.
I don't think that's something that we would have in the FBI. Well, similar-ish, but I think we've upgraded recently to newer model.
That's right. You don't have that sort of thing in your FBI. But strange that it's been following us. Cassidy, did you happen to get the license plate number on it?
As I said, yes, I did. Here you go.
You do in fact have the license plate. It is a license plate shaped license plate.
That sure sounds like a license plate, Cassidy. Good job.
It sure would be nice if there was a database or something we could run this through.
Unfortunately, this is 1970, and we don't have access to those type of records just yet.
It's a real shame, but good work, Cassidy.
Actually,
I was gonna say, isn't there? Can we like get with the state DMV
You could ask
or
the
something?
rental
or-
agency. You could ask a rental agency.
you can actually
for
ask.
instance.
You can actually ask the DMV.
Oh!
Also that, yeah.
You know, it's fucking the Wild West with license plates in the 70s.
Yeah, you could just have anything. You could just have anything you wanted.
Did that horse have a license plate?
Well, what do you think, Jerry? Do you think it's...
CEHULUH?
Jerry, what do you think? Do you think it's worth going to the DMV and putting up with all of that bureaucracy? Or do you want to go steal paperweights at the DMV is what I'm asking.
Can always go for more paperweights, but honestly, I'm more interested in trying to get an idea of what this communist puppet show is all about.
I will say this for all of you, because I have no interest in playing out a DMV scene. I will just let you roll for it if you want. Roll, I think bureaucracy for it to see if you can get the proper, if you can get all of the stuff you want from
Chad,
the DMV.
You don't want us to be in the DMV on Rhode Island Avenue in Northeast? What the fuck?
I think that would
Do you
take
know how
the
much
entire
time
session.
I've spent there?
Give me a zip code.
Too
What's the
much.
zip code.
You want to know how much time I spent getting my license, like from the municipal office over here in the Netherlands?
10 minutes.
5, actually. There wasn't a queue.
How long it took me.
Isn't it nice to live in a country where the public services are properly funded?
Most of them. Anyway,
Anyway,
do we
carrying
all
on.
roll bureaucracy or just Alice and Heather?
The person leading it. So,
Yeah,
unless-
Jerry wants nothing to do with the DMV. I'm good.
I'm imagining.
I rolled a 24.
I rolled a
Okay.
28.
2 successes. Okay, so you both. Wait, are you guys doing this together? Or are you both basically racing to see who DMV is better?
Oh, of course.
It's a race to see who DMV is better.
Okay, well, Heather rolled
But I would
lower,
argue.
so
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Heather
since I
gets it
rolled lower.
first. You both have
It's
the
a
same
conspiracy.
rating.
While they're doing
so-
that, Cassidy and Jerry are at her truck, just like shooting the shit, hanging out.
Yeah, so Alice, you come walking out of the building, triumphantly holding a manila folder in a hand. As you walk out, you see Heather just standing next to Jerry and Cassidy, just manila folder open, showing them already.
Mm.
Who
Mhm.
would be?
So, what you get from this, the license plate is registered to a rental agency, a car rental agency. Not one that the FBI or the CIA work with. In fact, a fleet of cars like this, they're agency owned, and asking for the license plate, asking for a license plate check on those would probably get you on a list. So there's two things that you can figure out from this. One, you have another avenue, a car rental agency, and two, you have you're pretty sure that this isn't a government thing, or if it is government, they are trying to keep it off the books. I'm sure Alice would know nothing of that.
That's classic CIA move.
Yeah, it looks like they're trying to keep this as clean as possible. I mean, I don't blame them if they're attempting to track us. You know, but it is what it is. I suppose we could check out, like, I suppose we could go to an enterprise or, you know, a budget rental and see if this is on any of their records.
Yeah, you would know that this is. Let's go with Enterprise.
Or, I mean, we could just say fuck it and go start this actual investigation. Like
Yeah,
we
I
were
think-
contracted to do.
Yeah, capital idea.
Yeah, Alice is a little frustrated that she was beat to the punch by Heather. So Alice will say, "You know, suddenly I'm very interested in these commie fuck puppets. So why don't we do that?"
It's the first sensible thing you've said all day. That's why I'm drinking.
That came out of nowhere. Anyway.
I'm tweeting that. That's
Cassidy,
amazing.
Cassidy drove here from New York, so she has an SUV that she rented. Y'all are welcome to pile into the SUV or take whatever route you want to take.
Yeah, I'll carpool with Cassidy.
How about Heather and Alice?
I think we should all just pile.
I think so
Wouldn't
too.
it be quicker? Wouldn't it be quicker to just take the train up to New York?
Do you really
yes.
want to have these? Do you really want to have these files in a public train, ma'am?
Oh, that's fair. All right, that's fair.
Road trip. Let's go.
Cassidy will drive, like do that thing where they drive around the same route 3 times to check if anyone's following her.
Go ahead and give me another alertness check. And anyone else who's checking for this may make the same one as well.
Gosh dang it. I wasted all my luck on the first roll.
Look, I'll give you this. I would not have thought to roll for this, so that's really good.
Yeah, does anyone else want to roll their alertness? Because I believe at least one of you has a train. So I think
Okay.
Heather's
Oh,
getting
no.
more-
I'm just like, and today I dunked on
Oh.
Alice.
You know what? Just for shits and giggles, I think Jerry sees everyone looking
I feel
around.
too.
Yeah, Jerry sees everyone looking around, and he like kind of looks around.
No.
Ooh. Wait,
Okay.
I'm out of almonds. Damn it.
So
I
as,
guess we just get on the road up to New York then.
yes, as the car starts driving towards the towards New York, the players do not see, but the audience sees the camera pan away as a silver Chevrolet with Washington plates follows the crew. And then we fade to black, and we fade in again over in New York City. Yes, what Amber said. Always fun having a local on. So, you are now in New York City. Sounds everywhere. It's not as busy as it is in the 2000s, but it's still one of the busiest cities of the world. Fair enough. So you are caught in brutal traffic as you make your way to, well, where are you going first?
I assume we have time to study the papers more closely while we're driving. Well, you guys do, while Cassidy's driving for 3
Amber,
hours.
VJ, and Geraldo, Heather, and Alice would have the time to do that. Let me check. I'll let you all do another occult check as you look through them again.
Can I look through them more in a forensic capacity? Right, I'm examining evidence more than I am searching for.
I'll also let you do.
links.
I'll also let you do forensic, but
Okay.
it will give you different information than occult.
Yeah, that's okay.
What if I tried human int again?
I will let you do that as well. It'll give you different info than forensics and occult.
That's fine. I'll take that. Are you fucking kidding me?
Oh my god.
Horseshit.
No.
We can't roll.
Hey,
At all.
Tav, the Foundry sucks. Just throwing it out there, all right?
Hey, I've got I just a little warning for you. Don't say that if you want good rolls.
yeah. That's what's making it happen, I bet.
You know what? I will roll for a cult. I didn't take a cult because I figured Alice hallucinates a lot because of MK Ultra. So she probably thinks all the shit she's seen is just hallucinatory.
Side effects.
But I'll roll a cult just to be sure.
Okay. You need a 9 or below.
Mhm.
10 or below, technically. No.
Good. Good.
95.
Very much no.
Does a 95 pass?
Surprisingly enough, absolutely not.
While we're
uh,
driving, by the way, the Beatles is on. She's got tapes, I guess, cassette tapes
Yeah.
from the Beatles.
8 tracks.
Drag, yeah.
Cassette tapes of a bunch of fucking hippies.
Commie hippies.
Mhm.
Dirty hippies.
They're dirty commie hippies, but
Good music.
have to admit it's pretty good. It does slap.
Since when does music have anything to do with physical violence?
I'm CIA, baby. Everything has to do with physical violence.
You know, I was part of the operation that planted the subliminal messaging for Helter Skelter. It was great. Those Beetle boys, kids, good kids, most of them. Not that John one, but we're gonna take care of that.
Oh God, that was a good one. That was
Yeah,
a good one,
yeah.
JR.
You know who doesn't get enough respect? Ringo, he's great. He was a Russian plant when he first came around, but just couldn't get any attention. So now he's just a mediocre drummer. Gotta respect it. Luckiest
Respect
man
the
in the rock
hustle.
business.
But yes, as you start heading into New York's, into Manhattan's deadly traffic, where would you like to go first?
Cassidy is not going to drive straight to the studio because that would not be operationally sound.
That is correct.
We could take a look at the makeup artist's home. I mean, something had to be different about that scene to get us called in to begin with.
Okay, you can definitely do that.
I think
you
Cassidy will actually park the car, the SUV, in a public parking lot, and then we take we either walk or we subway to places, because you can walk in New York, surprisingly.
So long as you also use the tube.
Gotta use that subway.
I've walked many blocks just walking. It's totally doable.
Our Europeanness is showing.
Yes, I suppose so.
But yes, you have made your way in to New York, and so I'm hearing people want to go check out the crime scene for Harriet Smith. Is there
Unless there's
anything
other
else you want
suggestions.
to do?
Yeah.
Well,
I think that's the most recent thing, so it's probably good. You will notice that Cassidy has a concealed firearm in her in a holster under her jacket, which, if any of you ask, she has a license for.
I'd assume so. The other one, that's a very, very, very quick way to a dishonorable discharge.
Cassidy, you know you're with Delta Green. You don't really gotta show paperwork these days. You just kind of have it, you know. I got this bad boy. He like pulls one out from inside his coat. Unlicensed. Had it since I think from the beginning of Vietnam. I got this one. Don't remember where.
Alice pulls hers out too and says, "See? Serial number filed off and everything."
Ooh,
Now,
that's a good one.
Cassidy, repeat after me. I do what I want.
I'm in the army, ma'am. I don't do what I want. I do what my
Heather just
superiors
starts-
tell me to.
Heather just
Well,
starts taking notes.
I'm your superior, and I'm telling you to do what you want.
What I want is to be operationally sound and safe, ma'am.
Jerry, I don't know what to do with her. She's broken
That's all
me.
right. When it's time to file the paperwork, you definitely want her signature on it because all her stuff's above board.
I've had this firearm for quite a while, ma'am. I've only joined Delta Green very recently.
So,
Well, there's still time for you.
as you all have that discussion, you're walking to the house of Harriet Smith, who is wait, this is the 70s, so she could actually still afford to live in New York itself. So you make your way to her apartment. Let's say it is in, because I don't prep that thoroughly.
Queens?
I was going to say Long Island, but more on the Manhattan side.
Long Island and Manhattan are two separate islands, maybe.
Yes, but Long Island is directly adjacent to Manhattan, so there is a Manhattan side to Long Island.
I misunderstood what you said. I was like, hold on.
Yeah, no, it's a smaller apartment in one of those old brick houses near the New York Naval Shipyard, Flushing. This, by the way, is a map. Because apparently you can find old maps online really easily. This is a USSR-made map of New York. Of New York in the late 60s, early 70s.
A USSR-made map of New York? Interesting. All right.
I wonder if there's any note of capitalist pigs anywhere on the map. Just like a paper town. But yeah. You arrive at her apartment, which is taped off with police tape. Trolling. Long Island on the Manhattan side. Is this bad in the 1970s?
Better, why don't you tell us where a medium income person would live in New York in the 70s, since you're local?
I think where the thing I pinpointed on the map is like on the border between Queens and Brooklyn. It's over here. Yeah, so is it?
Really
That's-
is. It's at least an hour by train.
Oof, brutal.
But the thing I'm pointing out here, that's literally one bridge away from Manhattan.
Then that's Brooklyn.
So this must be this must be the commies doing, because look at that word over there. Look at where it says Long Island.
They're like, the word's long in it. It should be long. Got it. Just cuts right through. Perfect.
It's not shocking. Commie surveillance just isn't up to the Americans.
Yeah, that Dutch commie surveillance is just really bad at cartography.
I mean, yes.
Anyway,
in this
somewhere
era, they
in a
would
middle-class
consider the Dutch
housing.
commie. But yes, it's on the border between Queens and Brooklyn, and there's police tape barricading the doors. There is actually a police officer there.
Great.
Oh, hey, Darcy, and hi, Lost Caravan RPG. Welcome to the stream.
Welcome, everybody.
You are just joining as I get distracted by the real New Yorker yelling at me for doing New York wrong. But yes, as you make your way in to the apartment, there's a beat cop standing outside of it, looking slightly bored, who looks at you as you come walking up and, there's an active crime scene. You can't go in here. And then he looks at you all again and notices the obviously spookness from one of you and the governmental looks from all of the rest of you, and go like, right, you're the investigators, aren't you?
Right. Why don't you go ahead and go get yourself a sandwich somewhere, and we'll be back probably by the time you're finished.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I will. And hands over the keys to the apartment and makes his way away from you because authority figures.
One question. Well, two questions. It sounds like we have two questions.
Several questions.
Jerry, what's yours?
What's your name?
Because I have to make notes of these as well, because I know you'll call
this
me
guy's
on
coming
it.
back. All right.
My question was going to be, who does he hand the keys to?
My question
Alice.
was, where can I get a? My question was, where can I get a good lox bagel here?
I need specific New York address.
That's at Jerry's around the corner.
Okay,
And-
but for real, who does he hand the keys to? Who does he think is the top?
Solid question. Solid question.
Alice has the most spook energy. And he's Officer Jameson.
Jameson, you seen any suspicious vehicle activity outside of this crime scene? Any looky-loos? Someone anyone have noticed? Please, anything insignificant could be major.
Beyond all the regular rush hour traffic, no, sir. Afraid not.
Who else has been in the scene since you all cordoned it off?
You'd have to ask the you'd have to ask the station, but think Inspector Williams was here with Detective Williams was here with us group investigating the disappearance of looks at his name, Miss Smith. Beyond that, crime scene's untouched, is untouched by orders from higher up.
Williams, he the lead investigator on the case?
That would be him, yeah.
Good to know. All right. Well, officer, you're doing good work. We should be out of here fairly shortly, but And he takes out a $20 bill and he's like, "Here you go. Buy yourself a good BLT over at Jerry's. Tell him Jerry sent you."
Alice,
I'm
oh God.
I'm joking. Don't tell him Jerry sent you. You tell anyone my name. It's not gonna go well for you.
Thank you, sir. I'll leave now. And he after handing the keys to Agent Adler, he leaves.
Well, I suppose once more into the brink, and Alice will unlock the door and walk in.
Okay. So the first thing you notice when unlocking the door is long scratch marks on the wooden flooring. They seem to be heading towards the. They seem to be pointing you towards the fireplace in the building.
Watson. Oh, sorry, God.
The apartment itself, on first sight, doesn't seem there doesn't seem to be much wrong. Anything. It seems to be the apartment of a person who makes a middle-class income. Looks to be someone who lived on her own, and the apartment doesn't seem to be that well used. Looks like someone who doesn't really live that much in their apartment and more spends all their time at work.
Sorry, just a quick administrative note. Any skill checks you failed, put a check next to that skill.
Oh, thank you. Okay.
Oh yeah, for leveling up, right?
For leveling up at the end of the session. Yeah.
Oh man,
That's
what if
a
we
very
failed?
good
that?
point.
No.
Because
What
you
if we
failed
failed
a
a
bunch,
bunch,
failing.
so
What if we failed the same twice?
it only
Then
checks
you
once,
just
I
suck.
think.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
thanks, Tab.
Can I offer
Get
you
better,
a
I
cat?
don't know what to
Can
say.
I offer you a cat in these trying times?
No.
Well, then I don't know what to tell you. However, as you get everything ready, there was someone who had a question, right? After I did the description.
I was just going to turn to Watson and say, Watson, investigation is more the FBI's prerogative than the CIA. Do you see the claw marks in the ground? Would you like to go first and enter the rooms first? I'll be your backup.
Where I'm going, I don't need backup. And so she's wearing I never described her clothes. I'm gonna say proto peak 70s era, fucking oh my god, what is her name? Who is it? Shit. She went undercover to the Playboy Club.
Oh shit! Yes, yeah. Is it Gloria Steinem?
It's Gloria Steinem.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's wearing she's very inspired by Gloria Steinem. So she's got the big shoulder pads, all of that. She's her collar. I'll let you know if I need anything. I will holler specifically for you. Understood? And so yeah, I'm gonna go and investigate. Is that a search?
Before anyone steps into the room, Cassidy will take out her pistol and open the door and check all the corners and stuff.
Come on, Cassidy. They've got the place cordoned off. There was a uniform right outside.
And this is why we have guns.
I also have a knife and a baton and a gun.
I would like a search check from Cassidy and forensics from Watson.
8. Quick question, Tav. I was looking through gear, and I couldn't find anything that was necessarily like lab equipment that I could bring with me. But I do have like a first responder medical kit. Can I say that I have some small like vials and like glass slides, things like that inside of that?
I will let you just assume that your character would have what an investigator in the 70s would have. So,
got it. Thank you.
Like a forensics kit, you can easily have.
You have like one. You have like one vial, and like, or like one test tube, and like a magnifying glass, and that's it.
Yeah, nothing beyond that. Sorry, but
Yeah,
no.
this
As
glass
you
is
look
dirty.
around, as Heather Watson looks around the apartment, everything seems to be in place. Like, this isn't the kind of place where someone would actually have been, where someone was kidnapped. The only thing that you can see that is out of the ordinary are these long scratch marks on the floor.
Actually, how would criminology play in this, Tav?
Let me check what criminology exactly does in Delta Green, because I think criminology is more the understanding the criminal.
Okay.
Which is something you do when you have some evidence, when you have some information. But criminology.
Yeah, knowledge of criminal and conspiratorial behavior. Use it to identify and predict criminal behavior, deduce relationships between members of a conspiracy. Yeah. Okay.
Right. So you'd be able to know that in the. You'd be able to know what exactly the plan was here, but you'd have to figure out that there's a plan first.
Yeah, exactly. And I can't pick that up. I think I'm just like, God. Like internally, I'm just like, God, she's making this fucking investigation on her so hard. Fucking Jesus. Yeah.
Meanwhile, are Geraldo and Alice doing anything to investigate?
After you, Alice.
Do I hear what Heather was saying? Was that said out loud or was that?
No, it's internal monologue.
Okay, internal monologue. All right. Alice is watching Heather out of the corner of her eye, but she will look around the room and investigate. Let's see. What should I roll? Not nautical. Human int. I think Alice is most interested in like what was this person's state of mind like before they disappeared. So would that be human int, psychotherapy?
I'd go with psychotherapy, but if you're going for that, I'm going to go to Jerry first because what he does might have influence on what you do.
Okay. Yeah, Jerry's going to kneel down and take a look at the claw marks, and he's going to pull out from his kit a small scalpel where he can try and get a little bit of like trace off of the actual wood itself. And I'd like to. I don't know anything about chemistry, but I'd like to assume Jerry knows about chemistry, and he might have some way of putting that in a test tube with some solution and mixing it to where I can match it to see if it's.
I will let you use forensics for that.
Can I use science chemistry? Well, you know what? No, I'll take forensics. I got a better. Scratch that argument. Here we go.
And a success.
Critical success.
Critical success, even. I forget what critical successes get you. Beyond just a whole bunch of information. So
bragging rights.
As you start looking at it and start trying to figure out, is this start trying to pull some stuff off to get it into a test tube, you realize the thing. You have seen claw marks in the past. These are not claw marks. there are 10 of them specifically, and they don't seem to have been made by force, by something pulling in. They seem to have been made by someone being pulled away. These are nail marks. And with the spacing of the hands, spacing of the nails, and the fact that you actually see a little bit of pigment on some of the piece of wood. These seem to be the hands of a smallish woman, matching pretty clearly to your description of Heather.
Okay. Yeah, you see he's like, right, he leans down, he scrapes a little bit of the wood, puts it in a test tube with some solution, shakes it really quick and sets it aside. He gets a ruler, right? He sees the distance between each of the claw marks. He's like, they're definitely human. Belong to a female given from the pigment, unless it's someone who just likes to color their nails. That happens. It seems this is someone being dragged from here to, and then they're leading towards the chimney, right?
Yeah. So as you start looking at the chimney, you actually see that there's a bunch of ash outside of the fireplace. And as you look up into the chimney, it does look like it's. Has your character looked up many chimneys in his lifetime?
Sure, why not?
Okay,
70s,
so yeah.
you're gonna look up some chimneys sometime.
So you look up and you expect there to be like a little bit of light filtering through, right?
Uh-huh.
Pitch black.
Okay.
And then as you take out like a flashlight and shine up, there's something blocking there's something blocking the whatchamacallit,
the flue
vent.
The
Yeah, the
flume?
flue.
Yeah, the flu.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you see a soft, just a little bit of reflection from what seems to be a shoe.
Everybody might want to come take a look inside the chimney. Actually, Cassidy, if I could have you come take a look specifically. Not
Actually,
sure
you
what
don't
I'm
see a
looking
glint
at.
of a shoe. You see a glint of what seems to be like nails.
Not exactly sure what I'm looking at, but you probably don't want the old man dealing with it.
Well, Heather will take like her baton and like telescope all the way out. And be like, "Do you need a poking implement?"
A poking stick.
I think I would assume Cassidy. I'm assuming. I think Cassidy's the tallest one in the room,
Yes.
right? So
By a wide margin, I think.
Yeah. Jerry's fucking slumped over all the time. I'd say well, maybe hand that over to Cassidy. Cassidy, want to give it the old scientific pokeroo?
Okay.
I pass
Okay.
it over. I pass it over to Cassidy.
I will point out, what do the distinguishing characteristics do? Do those do anything?
What do you mean by distinguishing characteristics?
For the attributes that are above a 13 or higher, you get a distinguishing characteristic. Does that do anything, or?
I think
Does that matter?
I think it's just like an explanation of why
Yeah.
it is that score,
Oh.
right? So
Yeah,
so like
fair.
Jerry's
it seems
strength
to
is an
be
8,
more-
but it's just because he's old.
Yeah, it's an appearance thing.
Okay. So just flavor. Fair enough. Cassidy will attempt to use her 14 strength to poke whatever it is.
Okay. So as you poke it,
Roll
it
to
seems to be
poke.
stuck. And you hear as you see an arm just swing and hit the side of the thing.
Don't blues have to be pulled down rather than poked up?
I don't know. It's up. Let's go with the assumption that it's up.
Okay.
It's in the chimney itself, is what I meant. I think I may have fucked up a word. It's in the blockage is in the chimney, so it's up like a meter or 1.5 meters from ground level.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see.
You could always shoot it if you want to shoot it.
Alice's gun is out.
I don't think that's gonna help dislodge it. One sec. And she goes to her bag and pulls out a crowbar. And tries to like dislodge whatever it is.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a pulley pokey check. Athletics check, I guess. Yeah, athletics sounds good.
Pulley pokey. Really useful.
Hey, I matched my skill exactly.
So yeah, you huff and you puff and you're able to pull. You're able to grab onto a wrist, and you pull down as there's this of ash and dirt that fills the room, and then as it all lowers down, there's the body of Harriet Smith is on the ground, looking at all of you with a look of abject terror in her eyes. Scratch marks going down her face, where there's some bleeding around the eyes itself, but mostly it seems like scratch marks have hit her her forehead and her cheeks. Arms, all of her limbs are in different states of being broken because of the whole being pulled up a chute thing. And she is smelling of mild decay. Like it hadn't filtered into the room yet, but now that this has happened, it kind of wafts up at all of you. And I would like all of you to make me a sanity check as this happens.
Question: I kind of would argue that Cassidy has seen mangled bodies before because, you know,
it's
war,
the sudden it's the sudden shock of seeing it that does it for you. So okay, so everyone who failed that one, I would like you to take 1 point of sanity damage. This one is still, for all of you, it's pretty. You've all seen bodies in the past, but there's this of it. So all of you take 1 point of sanity damage, except for Heather. Who...
Yeah, I see bodies all the time. This is nothing out of the ordinary.
Oh, I passed as well.
Did you?
Just
I
failing.
think so. Oh,
Nope.
it does?
Alice Adler rolled a 54 on a SAN target of
On a
50.
50.
Oh, okay.
So that's 3 failures, 1 success. As you all just jump back from seeing that. But yes, there is a dead body in the room.
well,
Unfortunately-
shit.
Unfortunately, this is not the first time I've seen something stuck in a flue. But shit.
Cassidy doesn't seem to be super affected, but she will reach down and close the woman's eyes.
Okay, so as you try to do that, the first, this is actually something I was expecting like forensics rolls for, but this is something you notice the moment you do it. The eyes haven't been scratched out per se, but the eyelids have been removed.
Oh,
You're not able to close what isn't there.
well, you're the investigators. Just do your thing.
Okay. Yeah, I'd like to get an idea of decomposition rate, right? How long she's been dead, or if she was alive for a period of time inside of the chimney.
Okay. That sounds to me like I don't want to keep putting it on forensics.
Surgery? Medicine? Pharmacy?
Yeah, it's
first aid?
I want to do medicine. I think that
Or maybe survival.
computer science.
science anatomy.
I think
I'll actually
medicine.
call it for you.
Okay, science anatomy. Yeah, shit. Yeah, that totally makes sense. Okay.
Of course,
Actually, it's
he said-
demolitions.
Failure. Come on, Forge. Foundry.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I wish we had the luck system where you could just spend 3 points on luck and get the success on it.
America's
Yeah.
finest.
Yeah,
As-
for real.
As you start going over it, decomposition, it looks like might have been there for she might have been alive for a while, but she may have been dead. Honestly, you can't quite tell. You are, as you get a close look at her body, there's a couple of things that you get without even having, that you would have gotten without having to roll for it. The first thing is at her legs, where she was being pulled, there are these deep incisions, as if something had grabbed onto it with claws. These are actually non-human claws. So as you and they seem to have been like wedged in and pulled, causing a bit of bleeding around the legs. With as close as a failure as it is, you are able to figure out the mechanism of death. It seems like her neck was snapped when she was pulled up into the vent. Human bodies aren't supposed to go in chimneys.
Yeah. Jerry gives it a once over, right? Looking at the incisions around the leg, the coagulated blood inside of the ankles where she's been pulled, and then goes over to her neck. Seeing a fracture here, this might most likely be the cause of death. So not so much asphyxiation or starvation, but right simple fracture of the neck from being pulled up into the chimney. But by what? These marks aren't human around her legs.
Huh.
Hard to believe the police never found her.
Well, you didn't smell anything, so they may
I don't
have
think
just
they
not
did.
looked up the chimney.
Right, this time of year, I don't think there'd be a reason to even take a look. Which is strange. Are we picking up a scent now?
Oh yes. The body itself, there just a waft hits you. You are familiar with this smell. It's the smell of, like, she's been dead for a day, 2 days. She's been dead for 2 days. So there is, I believe rigor mortis is still in effect. And she's basically locked into place in this contorted form. Yeah, that's what you see.
Can I? Oh,
Yeah, go ahead.
may I examine her body? I want to try and get a read on what her state of mind might have been, besides the obvious panic and associated
go ahead.
screaming and dying.
Please, after you.
What the state of the body is beyond, like, death.
Yeah, so and that's psychotherapy?
No, I wouldn't say so. It's also
well, would you like me to roll?
failure.
Sorry.
I would say that you're still doing a medical analysis. You're not talking with her to figure out her state of mind. I'd call it forensics or first aid.
Okay. Oh. Well, I guess it's going to be first aid then. Oh my god. I somehow got that. 4 under
Oh.
10. Yeah, so Alice leans over the body, kind of checking over her shoulder to make sure that Heather is watching as she does this performance of checking out the body, and Alice picks up her hand, which is unfortunately not floppy, because it would be great if I could just flop it. But I pick up the hand with the bloody fingernails and I drop it. What do I find out?
Is the body like...
So rigor mortis was kind of setting in.
Yeah,
No,
rigor
I was
mortis
making
is
a
still
gay
set
joke.
in, so it.
Oh.
I really wanted to wave.
You wanted to make it wave.
I want to make it wave.
Give it a high five. This body's totally dope.
This is the next recruit to Delta Green.
That's another shock off.
You know, we need some of these real stiffs at Delta Green, some real serious people.
So,
ba-dum.
as you look over the body, there seems to be there's a couple of things you notice. The first thing is you notice when you pull open the mouth, which takes a bit of effort given the fact that the jaw is locked. The jaw is locked in place, and the first thing that you notice is her tongue is just completely missing. It's been ripped out. The other things that you notice are it's now that you pay more attention to it, there's her veins seem to be blackish. It's like something has been pulled up. It's like some non-blood material has been injected in her veins. As you start pulling it out and analyzing it, you notice that she was likely, for a time at least, under the effects of some kind of poison or sedation. And now I will let anyone who wants to do it roll pharmacy, or, I mean, you get your psychotherapy now.
You said anyone can roll for this?
Yeah. You can try to not fail this time. Okay, so pharmacy.
I have a 0 in
and
pharmacy.
remember
Like,
to
fuck
put-
that.
And remember to put checks next to the skill checks you fail.
Thank you, yes.
Yeah. Okay, so first thing, Geraldo, as you pull out some of the goo, and you start looking over it, it seems to be some kind of it looks similar to opiates you have used. It seems to have been some kind of sedative or paralytic agent, which Alice, as you look over the room and look over her, she doesn't seem to have any defensive wounds. It's the only wounds that you see are from the claw marks that she put in the wooden floor, likely because she woke up when she was being pulled out. And with all of your combined checks, you can definitely confirm that the tongue and the eyelids were removed before death. So no significant defensive wounds means that she was likely completely out when that happened.
So she awoke at some point after having had her eyelids and her tongue removed, and was then dragged across the floor, scratching it, and then stuffed up into the chimney.
Yeah.
Sounds
You
like a
figure
pretty
that
good
she
time.
awoke. You figure that she awoke while she was being dragged away.
Yeah, I'm gonna put whatever the solution is, or the chemical that's coming out of her veins inside of one of the vials.
I'm assuming
Okay.
we
We'd say
can't
that
let
her
the police look
death-
at the body.
I was gonna say, you could say that her death was pretty vile. Heather doesn't say that. That's just Amber.
Oh yeah.
That's
yeah.
Amber. I just gotta say.
There's one thing I did want to give you. Actually, no, that's not psychotherapy. Criminology rolls, please. Whoever wants to, whoever is well enough versed in criminology to make to just
Nope.
make the roll.
I ain't.
Fucking shit, God,
Yeah.
bitches. Sorry.
Yeah, what is going on with
No.
this Foundry instance, man?
You know, I'm telling you. Yesterday
This
I was
is-
rolling d10s and they were all low numbers, but digitally this is off.
What is
Like-
the odds of us rolling so many failures so consistently?
Usually I get rolls this bad only on Roll20.
It's spreading.
Is that the real conspiracy?
So, even with failures, you do get you can posit some things. You're not going to get the full information, obviously, but Adler, who failed it less, you start. I mean, you've seen this in your CIA days. You feel that this might be the inflicted wounds might be symbolical. A pulled out tongue for someone who isn't allowed to speak anymore, or who isn't supposed to speak about the thing they've seen, and the eyelids, that weirds you out a bit more. It's like they want her to see what's coming next. And with that revelation, I would like a call checks.
Oh, okay.
And anyone can do these occult checks.
Yeah, here it comes.
Because this is more of a did I ever read about this?
You know what? I'm gonna go on a limb and say we didn't read about it.
No. In that case, you have no idea what creature did this.
Yeah.
What about a human check to see
Well,
if a
I-
human would do this?
Yeah.
Feel free to do it.
Okay.
She's missing her eyelids and she's missing her tongue. Do those feel like things that the CIA would do?
Tell me, Miss CIA agent, are these things
God.
you have done?
Fucking.
The eyelids are a little unusual, but the tongue I've seen a few times. Gotta keep them quiet.
Honestly, the tongue seems to more and seems more like maybe even a threat. Like, you're not supposed to talk about this. The eyes, that seems weird to you. But yeah, no. Based on that human, you can't imagine any human doing this. Not even a CIA agent. Are those really human, though?
Fair.
Well, we are some spectacular failures, apparently.
And yet you have gathered some information. But as you conclude all this, you hear footsteps down the hall, and then the door opens ever so slightly as Officer Jameson looks inside, taking a bite of a bodega sandwich and regretting it instantly as he looks in, and then turns around and.
As he's doing, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
As he's doing this, I would like to shout out to him. Oh, Agent Jameson, we seem to have missed doing our homework. What do you know about the occult?
He's too busy vomiting to have heard that. Are you sure you want him to hear that you're doing stuff with the occult? As far
Absolutely.
as he thinks you're just from the bureau.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Cassidy at one point also asked, I'm assuming we don't want the police to look at this?
I think I'm the closest thing to a police officer that should look at this, to be honest.
Well, he has
The
seen
regular.
So
Oh,
I'm new to this, so you tell me what's the protocol for stuff like this?
a regular beat cop wouldn't probably not even put together the pieces that there's something else at play here.
A regular beat cop would assume that this is a particularly gruesome murder. Like maybe a murder committed by a serial killer.
Officer, you're probably going to want to radio in Detective Williams. Let him know that this investigation's out of his hands.
Yeah,
I think this is a little more than the NYPD's prepared for.
I suppose I... Sorry.
That's it. Get
Do you need like a Pepto-Bismol? I keep a couple in my bag.
Thanks. Yeah, actually, if you have one.
Yeah, she like gets a couple of the tablets like from her bag and it's like, here, just.
And because you're the FBI one, I actually trust this. Yeah, so he takes one.
Cassidy will sort of stand there and like pat him on the back and like almost knocking him over because, you know, she's a bit stronger than most people.
Yeah, he wouldn't have access to a radio per se, so he's going to walk out and I think the cars would have radios at this point. Get into his car and radio up back to the precinct. Then as you can Detective Williams is not in town today, so can I get your cards? Can I get your cards to pass them along so he can get in touch?
Oh, don't worry. We'll get in touch with him. We can find him.
I didn't even give you his. Okay, I imagine you can. Do you still need me? You think I could use a drink?
You know, Jameson, I do have one question for you. How's that BLT? Any good?
BLT? Do you take me for someone from Philadelphia?
God damn, what is up with these New Yorkers and their dislike for BLT? All right, okay. Otherwise, I'd say just make sure no one else comes in here until some of our representatives have arrived.
Yes, I'll inform the precinct. Thank you. And we move forward as you all, as night is starting to fall, and I'm imagining you found a motel, where you are starting to have the beginnings of a crime board with those pins and the red string and just the usual. And as you look over all that, a picture begins to form, but not a very clear picture. There's definitely something supernatural going on. No human would have been able to pull this specific thing off. You're not even sure that you know of any. But a regular human just wouldn't have been able to fit through the chimney.
I assume we called in like a disposal squad or something?
I don't know if we should. Only because what if we need more information from the body?
At least someone to sit on the scene.
It would be pulled into a Delta Green related morgue.
Okay, all right.
So you still have access to this body after the fact, if you want to do any studying. But for now, it is off your hands and it's not rotting in an apartment.
That's fair. All right.
So, as you are going over all this, a picture is beginning to form. There is something clearly supernatural going on. There's someone following you, and you haven't seen that Chevy since, but I mean, you can't ever be sure that they haven't gotten your tail. And we flash back to you actually being followed without you noticing. Something is definitely going on with the Muppet Show. And what particularly is going on? Well, we'll see about that next week, shall we? So, as the show comes to a close and we fade to black, we see a man. This is seen by the audience, not by the players. A man with a long, bushy beard, wearing a floral print shirt as he's sitting over a sitting over a manuscript, frenziedly making notes in it, making changes. And he turns around and says to someone just out of sight, "It's almost ready." And then black.